say Paxton's comments on social media and in the press suggest he believes abortion funds should be used to prosecute people even if they cross state lines. Lawyers on both sides will determine how and when Paxton will be testifying.
Regardless of Ken Paxton's appearance in any courtroom, he is making an appearance on the ballot this upcoming election. And we'll have more information on how to secure your vote this November. But how much more does the value of your vote change depending on where you were registered? We spoke to political science professor Dr. Gloria Cox to answer that question.
Today we have one job and only one job, and that's to make sure the people of Florida get everything that they need.
Dr. Cox also discussed how college students have always made a huge difference in important historical milestones, such as the civil rights movement, and are able to shape the future in a vote. It's time to make your voice heard because voting is just around the corner. Are you registered to vote?
Go.
We'll go out to our live reporter, Regina Cepeda, on important things to remember before casting your vote. Regina?
Thanks, Nomi. The deadline to register to vote is October 11th, so if you have not voted yet, here's how you can do that. You can go to votetexas.gov, click register to vote, fill out the application, print it, and mail it to the county you are voting in. Early voting will be taking place at the Gateway Center from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday from October 24th through November 4th. And you need to bring a valid photo ID. Election Day is November 8th, so if you miss early voting, you can still make your voice heard. For more on whether or not you are eligible to vote, or if you need to do it by a mail-in ballot, you can go to vote@UNT, or you can go to the Secretary of State website. That's all that I have for you. Now back to you in the studio.
Now, you heard her say it, guys. Register to vote to make your voice heard. Thank you, Regina. Now, Kyle, how do you feel about today's weather?
Well, it's complicated because I woke up this morning, it was cold, then later on today it was hot.
It's all the
confusing.
emotions, yeah.
So, Olivia, how are these crazy weather changes here to stay, or what's going on with that?
Well, guys, you're in store. Today in Denton, Texas, it's 85 degrees and it feels just like that. The wind speeds are at 6 miles per hour, as you can see, and those are moving southeast. Also, the conditions are sunny, and later on tonight, after the sun sets around 7:08 or 7:10 p.m., it'll actually be 72 degrees, and it'll feel just like that. Wind speeds are slowing down to 2 miles per hour, and then later tomorrow, we're going to have a little bit of warmer weather. It's going to be 90 degrees, and it'll actually feel like 88. So we're not escaping the 88 range of temperatures, but the wind speeds will be back up to 5 miles per hour. And until later on in the show, thanks for joining me for our full weather report.
Thanks, Olivia. As the death toll continues to rise from Hurricane Ian, President Biden is pledging to federal support as Florida rebuilds. Gloria Pazmino in Fort Myers Beach with more on Biden's visit.
Today we have one job and only one job, and that's to make sure the people of Florida get everything that they need to thoroughly recover.
President Biden toured hurricane-ravaged Florida Wednesday, 1 week after Ian carved a deadly path through the state. More than 100 people were killed by Hurricane Ian, and many have lost their homes.
When we walked out, it was like something out of a war zone. It was just devastating.
Biden met with survivors who have lost their homes and businesses and thanked those on the ground helping these devastated communities.
And the search and rescue teams have knocked on nearly 70,000 doors and rescued over 3,800 people.
First Lady Jill Biden joined the president on an aerial tour, getting a first-hand look at just how widespread the damage is. Residents will be able to use the road to Pine Island that was damaged by the storm days ahead of schedule.
Later today, the public will be able to access this bridge and be able to get back.
Earlier Wednesday, Biden extended the federal disaster declaration for Florida, adding another 30 days of aid to help the long road to recovery.
We're not leaving. We're not leaving until this gets done.
In Fort Myers Beach, Florida, I'm Gloria Pazmino reporting.
And one final note on Ian, Texans are on hand to help with the search and recovery efforts. 46 members of the Texas A&M Task Force 1 arrived in Florida just before the storm and are working now locally to help the residents in the hard-hit state. The team is expected to stay on site for several more days.
Coming up, the latest on the violent protests
in Iran.
And tonight, a great way to plan your weekend at the Denton Jazz Festival. That's where I got confused.
Man, I have all these non-perishable food items, and I don't know what to do with them.
I don't have any food at all.
Do you have too many non-perishable goods?
Yeah.
Have you run out of food and can't get any more?
Yeah.
Well, don't have a cow? Head on down to the UNT Food Pantry. Located behind Crumley Hall and Diamond Eagle Student Resource Center, the Food Pantry is the place for UNT students to get all the food they need. You'll be utterly surprised by all the options they have there. From gluten-free to lactose intolerant, even vegan and vegetarian, they have it all. Go to studentaffairs.unt.edu/food pantry for more information.
Move on down to the UNT Food Pantry.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
An increasing number of Iranian youth and women have joined the nationwide anti-government protests. The uprising began after the death of a 22-year-old woman, Mahsa Amini, who died after being arrested by the country's morality police. CNN's Jomana Kadachi tells us more.
This religious propaganda song, released by the Iranian government with a tribute to former Quds Force commander General Qasem Soleimani, who was killed in a U.S. drone strike, is also a pledge of allegiance to the supreme leader and the ideology. Critics of the regime say it's part of an effort to indoctrinate the next generation to carry on the Islamic Revolution. But that generation is now rising up, saying enough to repression, demanding rights they've never known. In Tehran, spontaneous outbursts of defiance, young girls on the streets waving their headscarves, chanting death to the dictator, and the now familiar Women Life Freedom slogan of the protests, with cars honking their horns in support. More and more video now emerging of teenage girls joining in the protests. In this video, the girls remove their headscarves and chase an official out of the school, throwing water bottles and other objects as they chant, "Dishonorable." Girls emboldened by the young women who've been at the forefront of the nationwide protests, braving the bullets, the threat of prison or flogging, standing up to the Islamic Republic and its so-called morality enforcers, risking it all for their freedoms, for their right to choose. No one knows how this will all end, but one thing is for certain: the barrier of fear has now been broken. Jomana Kadachi, CNN, Istanbul.
A shocking report from an independent investigation into allegations of abuse within the National Women's Soccer League. CNN's Brian Todd has the details.
We are horrified and heartbroken and frustrated.
Tonight, members of the U.S. women's national soccer team furious over a devastating new report on systemic abuse and misconduct in the American Women's Professional League.
The people in authority and decision-making positions have repeatedly failed to protect us, and they have failed to hold themselves and each other accountable.
The independent investigation, led by former Acting Attorney General Sally Yates, says there was widespread misconduct on the part of male coaches toward players in the National Women's Soccer League. From verbal abuse to sexually charged comments to sexual touching and, quote, coercive sexual intercourse. The probe by U.S. Soccer was only launched because of reporting from the Washington Post and The Athletic.
In terms of scope and then the smaller details, all of it combined is just, it's truly awful in so many ways.
The investigation mentions Paul Riley, who coached 3 NWSL teams and was once under consideration for the U.S. women's national team job. An expose by The Atlantic says Riley sexually harassed players and in one incident coerced a player to have sex with him. Player Mana Shim told ESPN about another incident when she says Riley invited her to his hotel room.
He quickly shut the door behind me, and I saw that he was just in his underwear. And he told me to get on his bed and watch film, but there was no film pulled up.
Riley denied the accusations in the Athletic report. CNN has been unable to reach him for comment. Another coach, according to the Yates report, allegedly asked a player to look at game film at his house, but showed her pornography instead.
A woman athlete should not have to fear watching film to try to improve her performance and worry that she's going to get chased around a hotel by her head coach.
The coach's behavior was repeatedly covered up by the league and its teams, according to the Yates report. Players' complaints ignored.
The things that have gone on, the things that have been unearthed are much bigger than soccer, much bigger than any training or game.
The report included more than 200 interviews of firsthand accounts regarding abuse or misconduct at organizations in the NWSL.
While women across the globe are facing major obstacles, one woman in particular has overcome an obstacle of her own.
That's right, Nomi. NASA's Nicole Mann is the first woman to serve as commander of a SpaceX flight and is the first Native American woman to reach orbit. She launched with 3 other crew members to the International Space Station Wednesday. The rocket and spacecraft took off from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and they are sent to dock with the space station early Thursday evening. Another great reason to look up is to admire the clear blue skies that will hopefully grace us for a while.
Yeah, Kyle, I sure hope so. But let's go ahead and go to our own Olivia to see how the rest of the week is going to look for us. Olivia?
Well, Naomi, I will tell you about the rest of the week, but there's an interesting case of 80-degree temperatures across North Texas. I can show you this here. As you see, it's out west. There's 87 degrees for our warmest temperature in Graham. Our coolest temperature is actually 84 degrees in Gainesville, and the rest of our cities are sitting at 85, just like here in Denton. It's a nice warm temperature, except for Stephenville, which is at 86 down here on the southwest side. Now, a part of the larger region of Texas, we'll take a broader look, and as you can see, out west in El Paso, we're sitting at 74 degrees and at 65 in Amarillo, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But if you're traveling north, you're not going to be able to escape those 80-degree temperatures just yet, because as you can see, it's 83 degrees. In Denton, it's 85, and down south in Austin, it's 87. But the reason why out west we have those cooler temperatures is because in El Paso they are experiencing some isolated scattered thunderstorms, and they're going to have some clouds coming in up north towards Amarillo. Now when we look at our 7-day forecast, I can tell you that we'll actually see scattered thunderstorms ourselves next Wednesday, but tomorrow there'll be a high of 90 degrees and a low of 61. Tomorrow on Friday after Thursday, our high will be 88 and our low will be 60, and it'll actually be partly cloudy throughout the rest of the week with a few clouds, but mostly sunny. Now Wednesday, we're going to get scattered thunderstorms ourselves here in Denton, but our high will be 88 and our low temperature will be 61 degrees. Now, as we shift gears from weather in our own area to weather in the Pacific Northwest, we could potentially be heading into another cold and wet winter. Researchers are predicting that this winter will probably be another La Nina year where we will be seeing more rainfall, flooding, and drought. This will be the 3rd year in a row of seeing this phenomenon, breaking the original record of 2 years. So we'll possibly see that rainfall we were missing out on earlier this year during the summer once those temperatures do decide to rise back up. That's all I have for our full weather report. Back to you both at the desk.
Thanks, Olivia. If you're looking to enjoy some free jazz in the area, Denton is hosting their annual Arts and Jazz Festival. Sierra Pope is out there right now and will tell us more about the event. Sierra?
Thanks, Nomi. Denton is a city for good music, especially jazz melodies. If you want a weekend full of jazz, art, food, and fun, come check out the 42nd Annual Jazz Arts and Denton Festival. This is a free event located at Denton's Quakertown Park and facilities and starts Friday, October 7th from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and continues Saturday, October 8th from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. and Sunday, October 9th from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Also, this festival gives local groups an opportunity to showcase their own creativity through drama, dance, art, and music, and much more. And don't forget the Mean Green Connection. The UNT Jazz Bands will have their own stage. And again, this is a free event and open to people of all ages. So do not miss out on this fun-filled weekend right here in Denton, Texas. Back to you, Nomi and Kyle.
Thanks, Sierra. It's going to be a great weekend event. Well, coming up, we have the latest on keeping the campus beautiful.
And later tonight, hear about a furry friend that has just broken a world record. Stay with us.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
Imagine it's ice cream day at the office. And everyone from the day before voted for their favorite flavor. Everyone but you. You decided not to vote. The flavor they picked isn't the one that you wanted. But can you really complain? Shh! Now imagine that with an elected official.
Choose not to vote, choose not to be heard. Get registered today.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
Near Sanctus Spiritus.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
Hey, Maddie, miss me?
Wait, Bud?
What was that all about?
An old friend.
An old friend?
Good to see you, brother. What the hell are you doing?
That's your lucky day.
First time in nearly 20 years, NASCAR will not hold a second race at the Texas Motor Speedway next season. ntTV's Austin Hedgecock explains the possible motives behind this decision and what it means for the track going forward. Austin?
Well, Kyle, last month Tyler Reddick grabbed his third victory of the season after a messy, rain-delayed NASCAR playoff race here at the Texas Motor Speedway. And yet, after the record-setting 16 cautions and beneath the recent renovations, a larger story lies in wait. The Texas Motor Speedway may be on its last lap. Since 2017, the Super Speedway has been a sore spot for NASCAR, with low attendance, low intensity, and an abundance of technical issues overshadowing the races themselves. Defending Cup Series champion Kyle Larson did not hold back when asked what the Speedway should do differently in the future, saying that the track should be destroyed and rebuilt from scratch. Harsh words. However, the Motor Speedway feels that it is not at fault, blaming the condition of the tires for last month's multitude of crashes. 4 straight years of poor racing in the Lone Star State beg to differ. Whether the track is demolished, refurbished, or abandoned entirely, NASCAR wants things in Texas to change. Only time will tell if things will. That's all for now. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Austin. Hopefully that situation improves. But according to students, the ongoing problem of outdoor littering has gotten worse, with many unsure as to who or what will solve the problem. I spoke to a couple of students this week for their thoughts on this issue. They're Many of us can only hope that the problem will be addressed accordingly, but we can all agree that it's going to take the combined strength of students and faculty to help make our campus all the more beautiful.
Speaking of combined strength, there is some very important updates in the UNT sports world.
That's right. Next, we're going to turn to Spencer for more on that and everything else going on in the world of sports. Spencer?
Thanks, guys. I'll be recapping the recent UNT men's golf results, along with big donations from Yankees fans to the Rangers Foundation, and one Rangers Hall of Famer at the final broadcast of his illustrious career. Stay tuned. The UNT men's
Are you feeling okay? No, I've been feeling gross all week. Maybe you should go get a COVID test. But I already have all 3 of my shots. Yeah, but you can still get it. I mean, maybe you should go get one just in case. Yeah, you're right. We have that party and all that. Yeah. Where do we even get tested here? Let me check.
You can find free COVID testing sites at the University Union, room 381 on weekdays, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and on weekends, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and at Chestnut Hall, room 120 from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. You have to show the QR code given to you when you arrive for an appointment. Tests take no longer than 10 minutes to complete. Results will be sent through text or email within the next 48 hours.
I got a negative COVID test. Me too. Oh my god, let's go to the party. Yes. Let's go.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
The UNT men's golf team, led by Conference USA's Golfer of the Week, Vicente Marzilio, finished at even par at the Trinity Forest Invitational. Marzilio finished at 11 under in a tie for second place, leading the Mean Green to a -5 day and an 8th place finish. The Mean Green will finish up the fall slate of their season at the Little Rock Invitational on October 17th and 18th in Little Rock, Arkansas. Aaron Judge hammered a record-breaking 62nd home run of the season, and Yankees fans are turning a moment of history into an even bigger positive. In a show of thanks for actually pitching to Judge, unlike other teams, New York fans are urging each other to donate to the Rangers Foundation. The Rangers confirmed they've received a number of donations, with 62 as a common theme. Texas Rangers Hall of Famer Tom Grieve is finishing up his 54-season career with the club as a player, executive, and broadcaster. The Rangers legend announced that the 2022 season will be his last up in the booth. Grieve played with the team from 1972 to 77 and later served as an executive for 10 seasons in 1984 before joining the broadcast team in 95. His final broadcast is currently underway at Globe Life Field.
Thanks, Spencer. Now, what a legacy. That is surely something that is impressive in the sports world, don't you think, Kyle?
Yes, I mean, 62 home runs, I mean, that's, I didn't even know you could get that many.
Exactly, it's crazy. But yeah, thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
I'm Kyle Orr.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North